I knew that in 2004, when I bought the 19,000 square meter piece of property in Kommetjie, Cape Town, that if it didn't work out for the original intended use that I wanted to use the land for, I would have to implement the second strategy, which would be to develop that land. 18 years later, I am now at that point where we are implementing the rezoning and possible development of those 19,000 square meters. And I'm inviting you to be part of that process and journey as we go through it live. I'll see you on the other side. In 2004, when I was first looking for a piece of land in Cape Town, it was intended for a school project that I had in mind. Since that time, there have been 4 different schools on that property and many different meetings on how we could extract the best use from that development. Over the years, I have met with many different town planners, with different project developers, construction workers, and of course, a whole range of people who have put forward so many different ideas on what we could do with that piece of land, ranging from making it into a surf farm where the local surfers could come and it's a surf wave pool, through to storage, through to another school, through to multi-story high-density apartments, through to shopping centers, through to retail centers, and a whole range more. And now is the time when we have triggered that process, and I'm inviting you to be part of this so that you too can see it. My name is Robert Booth. I am a real estate investor, an Investor of the Year award winner in 2018. And of course, I invest in multi-let student housing, commercial, and of course, offshore as well, and many other different areas. And in all of my investing, I look to see how I can bring with me the students and clients that I work with so that they can learn from my mistakes and such get them set on creating success, profits, and value in their own ventures. As I have developed and worked on my multi-lets and on my student houses, I have brought my students along so that they could see what it looked like, what they should be aiming for, and of course, how they too could set it up so that they can dominate, be successful, and make it work from the get-go. And in this case, with this development, they have been invited to come along, and I'm opening that invitation to anyone else who wants to be part of this, probably for the next 12 to 18 months as we grapple with what is the best use of this land, what is the best zoning we want to put in place, what are the issues of the surrounding community, what is the vision of the municipality with this, what does the spatial development plan look? We have got all those experts and insights and bringing it all together through documentation, through meetings, so that we can actually really unlock the value in the land and make an impact in the development of this area, and of course, make it work. This is an open invitation, an opportunity for you to be part of that as a shadow and actually join us in the meetings. You will get access to all the documents that we're working with, the spatial development plan, the insight from the town planners, all the logistics that come from the reports of the Heritage Association, the landscaping, the geotechnical reports, which the engineers have to go and do to ensure that the land can be built on. All of that comes together to ensure that we are creating the best use for that land, while at the same time, it's very clear here that this is around proper teamwork and, of course, finding the right people. It's all about collecting, bringing together, and making things work such that as a result, there's profit, and of course, there's a legacy that we are leaving. At a core level, this is around the integrity of what we are calling ethical development and, of course, ethical investing, which is around doing something which has both meaning as well as impact, as well as economically sustainable. We have looked at so many different models that it is exciting to share that with you. And that property has seen protests through to a whole range of different things because it is a really sensitive socio-economic area. We've got small holdings on the one hand, commercial on the other, light industrial close by, a township close by as well. And all of these factors are coming in, which is why this is such an incredible opportunity for you to be part of it and you to be a witness so that you can actually learn firsthand all these things that are happening so that you can actually take this and implement it in your own developments and your own life. We have invited people to be part of it. And of course, this is something which is a one-time opportunity. And you can see from some of the meetings that my students have already attended that there is so much value that is going to come out of this, that is going to change their mindset, is going to open up the possibility of their thinking. And of course, these are all skill sets and documents that they too can use in their future developments on how to assess land, how to run the numbers developments, how to negotiate with town planners in making this all come together. This is what this invitation and program is going to be all about. So after the first meeting, I thought I'd just share. I asked some of my students what they had thought from the first meeting, and here are some of their responses. Ridwan was saying, I'm so very interested to see what happens in the end and the decisions they're going to make it happen. Also, I'm very keen to learn about the financing aspect when it comes to that. And that is because that's what's going to entail, right? I mean, one thing is the planning, the other thing is the implementation. And of course, then it's how do we structure and get the finance, or do we sell to a developer who wishes to do that? Dietmar, who is an agent, he's an estate agent, he says, yes, he took a lot of things from today's session. There's mixed use 1 and mixed use 2, which can provide better options and higher coverage than traditional zoning. How are we going to determine which is the best zoning? Because that will take the bulk, it will take parking, the size of the size of the buildings that we can use, setbacks, building lines, a whole lot of different things we have to take into account. And of course, this will make the application attempt greater, right? Providing as much detail such as road access, height of stories, land surveyor report, as well as the 3D development of the site, because of course we're looking at the spatial orientation. All of this needs to be taken into account to make it easier for them to approve the application, and always to inspect the title deed, right, to make sure there are no restrictions. So this is going back onto the title deed and looking all the way back to see that there are no restrictions or things that can be imposed that will make this a real challenge. Dimitri says, prices, Robin, considering the fact that being able to sit in a development meeting of this scale is only for the rich and elite. So thank you for allowing him to be part of it. So that's really great, right? His take was how important having the right team in your corner is, 100%. And that's why you can see part of that, right? So when I fight with my team, if that is the case, you're going to see what are the characteristics that are needed to make this successful. And you do not have to know everything. Just find the people who do. So that's my case, right? I don't know everything. I'm not necessarily the expert in everything, but I'm going to bring the best together to make it work. Bruce Lee says, definitely very interesting. Points around full planning layout of rezoning, possible uses, the barriers, the challenges, and then followed by discussions on what it could be used for, but also based on analysis and need of the area, what it should be used for, but at the very same time, the challenges that can be faced by that use. That's what we're doing, right? We're having to bring it all together and debate this. Also, great discussion points on value extraction, whether that be in the form of me developing myself the land, or partnering it, or just selling it on once I've got the zoning in place. Of course, remember, those are the different strategies that I'm going to have, whether I want to actually develop it and finance it myself, whether I want to partner with a construction company to expand that out, or if I want to just sell it on to someone who wants to do it all themselves. And of course, he says this isn't the type of exposure that just anybody would usually get. Of course not, because how are you going to get access to everyday meeting, or all the meetings and the reports and everything that a development of this size is going to be going through? This is a unique opportunity. So there we go, a whole lot of different scenarios, and this is your chance to also be part of this. I will be spending a lot of money on bringing all the professionals together to ensure we have the best team and the right information to make these decisions. It will cost me millions of rands, but this is where you get access to these same people and, of course, to a network of people at a fraction of the cost. We are making this really simple and splitting up your participation into 3 simple installments at 6 months apart, which means it is really easy for you to be part of this and gain all this insight without having to pay a lot of money. As we record the meetings, as the new documents come to light, we will be putting them onto my platform, which you will have lifetime access to. So you can come back and review all the documents, review the meetings, see all the different conversations that we had, and of course, keep that learning going. This is that opportunity for you to be part of something. And of course, after this, once this course has been developed and our architects have brought through all of their components on decision-making, town planning, and all the different design elements, this will be going up to well over 50,000 Rand, because that is what it is taking for us to bring this all together. If you are wanting to be part of this, well, then why not watch the first 2 meetings where I share the history of the property to the current day, and of course, the first meeting with the architects and town planners as we began to set the context for us to move forward. All of that is available for you to see in the free preview. So you can see that there is immense value. And right from the start, you are going to be getting a whole lot of information, understanding, insights, and that will set you going. This will either scare you or excite you. But either way, you're going to be part of this process with me and, of course, making it work and being a witness to the impact of this property in Cape Town.